What's up? What's up? My name is Joe. I am doing this video for some reason. Not sure how I talked myself into doing this. It's pretty embarrassing for the most part. Um, but I have started the carnivore diet. I'm at the very beginning of this journey, and I personally get a lot of benefit from watching videos of other people and hearing like their results and what their struggles are and what they're learning, and that's a great motivator for me. Like I can spend, if I have an hour lunch, I'll eat lunch and just watch before and after videos or success stories on YouTube, things like that. And I just thought, you know, perhaps whatever I go through will help somebody else out. And if so, then it's probably worth doing this. So this is my first video. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know how to upload one up to YouTube right now. I'm sure I'll figure it out. I have a average level of intelligence, so I'm sure I'll figure it out just fine. But it'll be interesting along the way. A little bit about me. I am 40 years old. I am a professional chef. I was classically trained at Scottsdale Culinary Institute. Go Spatulas. No, I don't know. We didn't have a mascot. I just sounded like something where I should cheer on our mascot. Like, go Sun Devils. Anyways, I live here in Arizona, so I went to Scottsdale Culinary Institute, and I've worked professionally as a chef for the over a decade now, and all here in Phoenix. I've worked in some of the best restaurants in Phoenix. It's been a great joy. It's been a great time. Hasn't been the greatest on my waistline or my belly line or my chest line or any other part of my body, but dieting is a struggle as a chef. We're constantly cooking food for people, delicious food, especially in the high-end restaurants in Phoenix. The best food, and it's you're always around it. You've got to taste what you're cooking in order to make sure it's right. So it doesn't matter what diet you're on, you're tasting everything you cook. Otherwise, don't go out of the kitchen. You got to make sure it's right. So that's been a struggle. I have had successes on other diets before. I've had success on the keto diet, on the paleo diet. Challenges for me personally on the diet were just keeping going, because I'd lose weight when I was doing it, but like for example, the last diet I was on was keto, and it felt like I'd lose a lot of weight at first, and then after a few weeks it would level off, and I'd have to figure out what was causing me to go out of ketosis, and I'd tinker around and type in a bunch of numbers and find out that I'm probably eating too much protein, which is hard for me because I love meat, and meat is the thing I crave more than anything else. I always have, even as a kid. We'd be at a picnic or whatever, and when given the choice, I would always choose a second or third hamburger rather than a dessert. Like I just wanted meat. I had a meat tooth, not a sweet tooth. And so that was a challenge on keto, and then I dial that in, and then for a couple of days things seemed to be going right, and then I'd go out of ketosis again for a while and hit a stall on weight loss, and then figure out that I must have added a little too much red bell pepper or too much cucumber, or I was eating too much cauliflower or broccoli. I mean, crazy stuff. And so it just always felt like you were trying to troubleshoot. And I wasn't even getting into things like the keto desserts where you're making pies out of almond flour, and where you're getting into real trouble. You could really get yourself into trouble with things. This is just not eating whole foods. It was still a struggle with keto. But I did lose weight doing it, but it was hard, and it was difficult to keep track of everything. So anyways, so I'd had varying degrees of success on diets here and there ever since I was in my early 20s, I'd say. So almost 20 years probably I've been dieting, losing weight, getting it back over and over and over again. I currently am not today, but when I started this 16 days ago, my initial weight was 437 pounds, which is the largest I've ever been, which is so embarrassing to say out loud to whoever might be listening to this, but I mean, it is what it is. It's where I started at. My wife Joy is also doing this carnivore journey with me. She'll be in videos hopefully as well. She is also doing the carnivore diet. She has some autoimmune issues that she's hoping to resolve, Hashimoto's and like eczema. And we also have a 1-year-old who just turned 1, and he's awesome, but he's a handful, like every 1-year-old is, and it's, you know, being 400 pounds makes it much more difficult to keep up with him and to play with him in the ways I'd like to, and the way he'd like me to as well. So that's a challenge. Carnivore diet, the first I'd heard of the carnivore diet, I'd have to say probably was on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. I'm guessing it was probably Michaela Peterson that I was listening to, or Jordan Peterson, I think, actually came on first to talk about it, but they were talking about this carnivore diet. I thought it sounded interesting, but somewhat skeptical about how healthy it was, you know, just because of everything we are always taught about the importance of vegetables, whole grains, and things like that. But I mean, it sounded like a lot of fun to just eat meat all the time. That's generally what I would do if I wasn't trying to be responsible or healthy. And then I had heard a couple more people on the podcast talk about it as well, Dr. Baker and Dr. Saladino, and then Rogan himself tried it. So I just started being exposed more and more to people who were doing it, and so the idea came out, maybe it's something I could try. So I started doing a lot of research on it to learn about the health consequences of it, and whether it was a healthy thing to do or not. If you're gonna get, you know, scurvy, people talk about, or you know, a heart attack or things. And the science that were, you know, in the Carnivore Code by Saladino, and what Sean Baker talked about, and was compelling, and so it was something that I thought I would go ahead and try. I did not think my wife Joy would be on board trying it, but I was watching a podcast of Michaela Peterson, and she was talking about it. She was talking about autoimmune diseases, and so that kind of perked the interest of Joy, my wife. And when she kind of suggested trying it, I was pretty excited. I was like, yes, this will be great. Both of us doing it will make it a lot easier. And so yeah, we decided to start it. We started it 16 days ago, and I'm excited to see how it goes, to see how much weight we lose, to see how her autoimmune diseases respond to this diet. A lot of the success stories and a lot of the people I've been following with the diet sounds great. It sounds like they're having a great experience, so hopefully ours is similar. Yeah, and now's a great time for me. When I'm working professionally as a chef, it is difficult to diet, like I already said. But with the pandemic happening, I transitioned to, I started a spice company. We make spice rubs, like barbecue rubs, and these are all recipes that I, you know, perfected through my career and have used in the restaurants and things that are top-notch, really good rubs. And so that's what I do now, which allows me to be home and work out of our home, and then be with my son more. And it also allows me to be able to do a diet without having to worry about having to be tasting the risotto and, you know, the batter for the souffle, you know, things that are definitely not carnivore that I would have to try on a daily basis because it's my job. So that is a relief, and I think this is the perfect time to do it. So I'm doing it, and yeah, hopefully anyone who is watching this will find some sort of benefit out of these videos. If not, I'm I'm sure it'll benefit us by making them and being accountable to ourselves by posting them. But yeah, I'm excited. I've lost 16 pounds so far in the first 2 weeks, and so we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. And we'll post some videos that'll actually break down like our week 1, what we ate, what our experience was, what our results are, and we'll kind of do that, and then we'll catch up to live, which is we're on today's day 16, and once we get to that point, we'll just post as we go. But yeah, if you're watching, thank you, and yeah, we'll see you next video.